let's just make it so like 11,000 years or so, there's a pole shift that wipes out most life on the planet and it just starts over. Maybe eventually we'll get a good batch. And
I've thought that, man. I think that all the time when I think about the Great Pyramids and all the ancient structures and whatever catastrophes that have wiped people out over and over again. Maybe that's like a built-in system. Like it wipes people out over and over again, including the dinosaurs. Like maybe it's partly built into the system. Things get wiped out and then they start from scratch again. Oh, we got a bad thing here. We got giant lizards just fucking eating everything.
Wipe it.
Boom!
Wipe the hard drive.
Wipe the hard drive.
Got
and
a
that
virus.
It's almost like the most extreme version of survival of the fittest.
Oh.
That's also why I think that people are so fucking savage. I think when you think about the level of technology and development and just what's available to us in terms of information and education and just the way our lives are so profoundly aided by technology, but yet we still live on the same planet as all these atrocities that we're talking about people in Iraq getting thrown off of buildings because they're gay and horrible conditions in these fucking mines and wars going on, the Ukraine and Russia thing. All this stuff is happening at the same, and it makes me wonder, like, why are we so barbaric? Well, if there really was some sort of a massive natural disaster that happened around 11,000 years ago, and it killed almost everybody, and just the people that survived were fucking monsters, just monsters. And if you think about civilization, like if they follow that impact theory from 11,800 years ago, and then you start looking at around 6,000 years ago is when we start seeing evidence of agriculture and written language and crude, but also like with an understanding of the solar system, like a detailed map of the solar system. The reason they're probably the only people that survive were the most horrific amongst us, the craziest people, the people that were willing to eat people. The people that are the monsters in the movies where, when a catastrophe happens, they start turning to cannibalism.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
We're the ancestors of those people.
In the stories that Graham Hancock is so good at talking about, of like, okay, but there were some people who like managed to keep civilization intact. It collected like vaults of data, and they go and they're trying to like spread this. It's like, how many of them just like were like, what's that? What's that island you talk about it? I don't want to fuck up your joke, and I won't mention it all. But the Sentinel.
Oh, North Sentinel Island.
So how many people did actually survived who didn't go Mad Max, and how many of them were like, okay, let's get back out there. We're gonna tell them about we came from the Pleiades. We're going to explain to them that this happens about every 11,000 years, so we need to start working now so we can develop maybe a way to colonize the moon, get off world, because this fucker resets every 11,800 years. How many of them were just like the same thing? I won't go into the details about that. How many of them were wiped out, were just murdered?
Yeah.
Were just killed? How many of them just didn't make it because it's like they seemed like demons to these people who had gone through hell? And how much was lost just from like purely defensive, like, Walking Dead level survivors? I love The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Well, how much was lost due to raids by warring tribes? I mean, that's the story of Baghdad. The story of Baghdad was when it was sacked by the Mongols, that the river ran red with blood. And that was like the height of the Islamic scholars, all the mathematicians and scientists that came out of the Islamic faith. They were the height of technology and science back then, and they got raided by the Mongols and slaughtered. They would kill a whole city full of people.
Yeah.
They would kill millions of people.
Yeah.
Wild shit, man. And so all their progress, all their learning, all of it's gone. All of it's gone, and the people that took it are living in tents and drinking horse blood mixed with milk to try to stay alive when they're on these mountain raids.
Well, in defense of the Mongols, they were multicultural. Like that, I read that book because of you, that Genghis Khan book.
Yeah.
And they would go.
Oh, they take anybody's religion. They didn't care at all.
And also they were like, they would like they would try to not kill. I don't know how you do that, but they would try to like collect the people that were good at whatever it is that they thought they needed in their own society and just put them to work.
But they would also
Conscripts.
famously go up to a general and offer him to join their army, and if they accepted, they'd kill him on the spot because he's a traitor. Yeah, they would test people like that too. Like, how can we trust you?
Right.
You just turn on your people just because
Right.
you're scared, and so they'd kill them.
Yeah.
They'd kill them in front of everybody else. They also would like take all of the royalty, which they didn't feel like they should kill, like just actively kill, and they would crush them, and they would put them under gigantic floors, and then they would stack them, and then stack boards on top of them, and they would put tables on there, and they would eat. So they would eat their food while they were crushing these people to death that were underneath them.
Wow.
That's how they disposed of them.
Wow.
And so these are the people that showed up, where all these people had 1,000 years of innovation in mathematics and science, and they're trying to figure out the world, and someone comes along and smushes them to death.
Dude, this is why I love The Walking Dead. I started watching the series again,
It's amazing.
and it's an analysis of this. It's like, how long is your way of like doing things going to last in a world where these traits that the Mongols demonstrated are going to increase your likelihood of surviving? And it's a really great study of that. It's really
Yeah.
brilliant when you look at it from that perspective. It's like talking about post-apocalyptic society and which ones are more likely to to survive.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like, yeah, the ones that are like trying to do bullshit like morality from the old days, they don't last that long.
No.
But I didn't finish the series, so don't spoil it. I can't.
Series is awesome. It gets a little, you know,
There's
they
some
all
down
tire
mo-
out.
there's
They all
down
tire out.
moments in it,
But
but-
the fucking, the overall, it's a classic. It's a banger.
Dude,